In tonight's breaking story, Congress just launched a new probe into Donald Trump's $230 million scam. That's right, things keep getting more and more challenging for Donald Trump. I almost feel bad for him until I remember I don't. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, Donald Trump is an absolute disaster. He has no respect for the law, and now more and more of his supporters are claiming that he's going to be president in 2028.
Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. And the way we finish it through Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm trying to understand the coherence of the things you've just told me in the last few minutes. On the one hand, you've said the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through, Zanny, and define all those terms.
Okay? But even if you find a way to undermine you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it.
Which I can only imagine how much of a disaster that would be, considering how much of a disaster Trump has already been.
While we are in this shutdown posture, the White House has used it as a pretense to cut programs and jobs that they don't like. As part of those layoffs, they've gotten rid of most of the special education staffers within the Department of Education. I want to read something according to the 19th. It says more than 7 million children across the country rely on special education services that are partially funded and enforced by the federal government. And quite frankly, they don't care if Trump would deem this a Democrat program or not. So if these firings are upheld in court, what's the impact of those cuts?
So let me just say two things. First, these firings are illegal. They were illegal before the shutdown, and they are illegal after the shutdown. The shutdown gives Donald Trump no more power to lay people off en masse like this than he had before. He had no power to do this. But the second is, please observe the cruelty of what they're doing.
And now Congress just launched a new probe into Donald Trump's $230 million scam. That's right, take a look at tonight's top story. Democrats on the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees just announced a brand new investigation, this time into what they're calling a $230 million Justice Department shakedown by President Donald Trump himself. The probe centers on Trump's shocking demand that his own Department of Justice pay him $230 million in restitution for the investigations he faced during and after his first term. According to the New York Times, Trump personally believes he deserves the money, essentially trying to charge taxpayers for the legal scrutiny he brought on himself. But congressional Democrats say this isn't just audacious, it's flat out unconstitutional. In a letter posted by CBS reporter Seth MacFarlane, Democrats cited the Domestic Emoluments Clause, which strictly forbids any U.S. president from receiving personal payments from the government beyond their fixed salary. The Constitution sets that salary at $400,000 a year, and unlike the Foreign Emoluments Clause, there is no option for Congress to waive it. In other words, even if Trump's allies wanted to help him, it would still be illegal. The committee's letter didn't hold back, writing, "The founders feared presidents like you might one day be tempted to use their powers to steal U.S. taxpayer funds." It continues, "That isn't justice, it is theft." This latest scandal adds to the growing list of Trump's legal and ethical crises as his administration continues to be plagued by allegations of corruption and personal enrichment. And while Trump frames his $230 million demand as restitution, Congress is now making it clear that it looks more like a cash grab at the expense of American taxpayers. The investigation is officially underway, and with language this sharp, Democrats are signaling they're ready to expose what they see as yet another attempt by Trump to turn the presidency into a personal payday. Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.